I just finished the first episode of Iron Fortress, and I started this series not really knowing much. The only thing I really knew about was that humanity was facing some form of zombie-like creatures. That's one of the only main concepts I knew about the series, so I was unaware of what to really expect when I started the first episode. And I will say, this episode blew past my expectations, destroyed it, like completely just destroyed my expectations, and went way far past them. This first episode, if we're throwing JoJo and Boku no Hero off the table, like if we're completely throwing those series off the table, like they don't count, because those were expected to be good. If we're looking at other series that are currently doing really well from this anime season, like for instance, like something like ReZero, or if we're looking at something else, like for instance, let's say Macross, you know, if we look at all these other series, many people are just debating, like, maybe ReZero is potentially one of the best of this season. But then we see this, Iron Fortress. This first episode, just on a quick note, the main character, badass. Fucking badass. Like, you don't see a character every day in any other show strap themselves up with a brace around their neck, strangle themselves to where a virus doesn't spread. You don't see that every day. You really don't. You don't see that every day in an anime or manga. I haven't. I want to be honest here. I have not seen that. I've never seen the main character literally talk about how a virus, you know, can't spread and all that. It's like not a curse. He puts his fucking brace. You see the virus spreading up his arm through his body. His body's getting like all purplish looking and he's dying. And he straps himself up, fucking strangles himself. He's sitting here strangling, and the virus is, you know, not spreading him, and it just dissipates, like, it disappears. You're like, oh my god! And then he just gets down, you see his face, he has blood coming down, and all that. He looks fucking badass. Just motherfucking badass. Just badass main character right there. I just gotta say right now, very strong MC right there. Just seeing the MC, the way he acted throughout this episode, I fucking love him. Fucking great character so far. Now, getting off of that, I gotta talk about the art style. The art style was what really threw me for a loop. I was like, oh, like the art style of Iron Fortress was unexpected. I really did not expect the type of art style I got while watching this episode, because normally when I walk into an anime, I expect the same old type of art style, similar art style. I mean, there's some anime from this season that are a little bit different from others, I'm not going to say that, but a lot of anime tend to stick to the traditional animation style, and when it came to this episode, or the series now, Iron Fortress has a very distinct and different art style from anything else from this anime season. Completely different. Like, seriously, there's nothing similar to this art style from this anime season, and I love that. It really makes this series stand out amongst the crowd. But then on top of that, it's not a type of art style that's meant to be wacky, or something that's meant to be, you know, like, oh crap, this is trippy and stuff. You know, something like you would see from Studio Shaft, or something you would see from Trigger. It's not something like that when it comes to that type of art style. The art style we got here is a more mature looking series. That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like a mature art style, and the way the first episode was done, especially when it came to the graphical scenes, like the graphic scenes with the blood and the gore, and then seeing, you know, people getting shot or eaten and stuff, there was a lot of violence that was not censored, and I'm surprised. I mean, even when you saw the hand being bit, you had actually the meat, you could see the meat. It wasn't shadowed out or anything. Like, usually, you know, when you watch an anime, like, let's use examples. Let's say you see a character get shot. A character gets shot in the chest. Usually, you have, like, darkness right there where the bullet hole is. And you don't get to see, like, the inside. Even though the bullet went straight through the fucking person, you don't get to see the light going straight for the person. You just see, you know, a black hole. And that right there, I love that detail that this episode did. It was uncensored. Now, this could be very different from, you know, I guess what Japan is seeing, because we have seen cases to where sometimes we get the uncensored version and Japan gets the censored version. There has been cases like that before in the past, so I'm unaware of if we got the censored or uncensored version or whatever the case may be, but still, I really love how the first episode, right off the bat, uncensored, fucking great. That instantly adds a couple points to the series just for being uncensored, and I don't have to see just black holes covering, you know, injuries and shit. So seeing that makes me happy. Now, art style, getting back a little bit more into that. The art style, though, what really got me was how it made the steampunk atmosphere so much better. Because the atmosphere of the series, or the setting, is steampunk. And I was talking about this in my vlog yesterday, which really caught me by surprise, because as I said in my vlog yesterday, I would really like to see a steampunk anime. It's been a very long time since I've seen one, and now seeing a steampunk anime, Iron Fortress, yeah, it looks like my wishes have been answered. I'm getting a steampunk anime that looks really badass, has a very strong start. Now, let's get into the music. Oh, God, the music. The music of Iron Fortress. Some of the best. Some of the best vocals, along with some of the best OST makers in Japan, just right now. They are some of the best. Sawano and all that. This right here, the soundtrack of Iron Fortress. Regardless, let's just say this. Let me go on a limb here. Let's say I hated Iron Fortress, which I don't. But let's say I hated this first episode. I fucking hated it, okay? Let's just go on that example. Let's say I hated it. Regardless, if I hated this episode, or I hated the series, I love the soundtrack. Seriously, it stands on its own. And that's good when a soundtrack stands on its own. So, yeah, when you have great visuals and a great soundtrack with a badass MC, it makes me happy. Now let's get into the setting. Now, besides the steampunk atmosphere, like I, mentioned earlier, the setting of the series is where humanity, from what I can see, has been faced with a virus, and this virus has been spread throughout the entire world to where it's infected human beings and turned them pretty much into zombies. A little bit different, but you might as well say zombies, but a little bit of a higher breed and a little bit different the way they look. For instance, these zombies that we see have these weird type hearts to where, like, they're really, I guess, hard or crystallized or something, and normally people can't really break these hearts, and, you can't kill these zombies properly. You have to be able to shatter this heart or whatever, so it's not like a traditional zombie. So, you have it to where the MC throughout the episode, he's trying to figure out a gun that could, supposedly kill these zombies, and he manages to actually do that at the end of the episode. And when I saw him get bit, I thought he was dead as fuck. Like, I really did. I thought he was like, oh my god, our character figures out a cure, or a way to combat these zombies, and then all of a sudden he gets bit. I'm like, GG, he's fucking dead. Like, what the fuck? So, I'm like the direction of that went, but also, though, I like the setting of it. Even though it's very average in terms of setting, because it's something we have kind of seen before. For instance, zombies trying to eat people, humanity fighting for survival. It's not an original concept, but it depends on where it goes, and honestly, it depends on the characters. And so far, the characters are fucking awesome, the music is great, and the art style is amazing. So when it comes to my first impressions on Iron Fortress, I definitely recommend you to give it a shot, and just to see for yourself if you like it, because the first episode, to me, is definitely a must-watch series from this anime season, and definitely a series I cannot wait to see next week on Thursday once again. So, you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.